Okay, so the inspiration for this Sunday's homily comes by way of a little daily devotion book. And this one's called Daily Meditations for Busy Christians. My grandfather, who was my confirmation sponsor, he gave this to me for confirmation in 1999. And therefore, this book spent the next 20 years in a crawl space in my parents' house in a box labeled Father Justin's high school stuff. So I actually just finished reading it the day before yesterday. So it took me 22 years, but here we are. Anyway, I want to share with you the entry for April 7th, which I did not read yesterday. While eggs and bunnies appear in the store windows and tulips spell out happy spring, it's not that easy to erase the figure of a tortured would-be king whose wounds, even in resurrection, do not go away. The naked figure of a grown man dying on a cross defies coddling and doesn't do much for sales. Easter is still ours. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. If anything, that's become more true these last couple of decades. Because it's all marketing. Every direction we look. Take food as a simple example. We are very often tricked into buying fancy bad food because it's labeled as the new healthy food to eat. And there are similar trends with our tech, our buying habits. It's all over the place. And we all have to deal with this. It's just a part of being alive in the modern world. But then there's Easter. And Easter, at least, is still ours. It's a bloody man dying on a piece of wood. That's not marketing. That is something else. It is not marketing like eggs and cute bunny rabbits. And the reason for that is that the true power of the gospel message is something else entirely. Okay? It is not a product, and it is not a service, and it has no measurable economic value. It is something else. It is simply the most important message that we have to hear. It is not for sale, but that doesn't mean that it's cheap or disposable. Now, I once heard it said that all of religion is basically a big sales pitch. We're selling Jesus one wafer at a time, per customer, supplies are limited. Now, we certainly could live our lives like that. We certainly could go door to door, selling salvation, but if you're willing to look Christ right in the eye, then you know that there is something more than a sales pitch going on here. So if that's the case, if this is not a sales pitch, then what is it? What is the Paschal mystery of Easter Sunday like? Can we compare it with anything? And to that I would say yes. I think one thing does come relatively close, and that's your mother, your father, your spouse, and or your kid saying, I love you, thank you for being a part of my life. When was the last time you said that for real? Because when that is said sincerely, authentically, and passionately, that's not marketing. That's not a sales pitch. And it's not anything that can be bought or sold or traded or rented for any price. It's relationship. It's the important part of life. It's not meant to be abandoned or taken for granted, but even if that happens, it's still there. That relationship will always still exist in some form. And spending time with loved ones is always different than spending time at work. And that's what all of this is when you boil it down to the core message. All of this is about relationship. God has a relationship with you, as surely as you have one with your parent or your child. And really, the only question that actually remains is how deep, healthy, and rewarding do you want that relationship to be? Because that's the part that's on you. Because you know what? He's there. He is there every day, whether you talk to him or not. He is really present in the Eucharist whenever you're ready to receive him. And he is not out to make a profit or swindle you in one way or another. You are loved. All of you are loved more than you can possibly understand. And that's what he died on the cross for. And that's ultimately why he rose again from the dead. It's all for us, and it's all made possible by love. That's the Easter message. And it should crown our entire year because it is that significant, and today is that important. And no matter how cynical things get outside in the other world, no matter how focused marketing becomes, that promise and that relationship is still there for us, waiting for us, because nothing can take it away. Nothing. So thank you all on this Easter day. May God fill your heart and your soul with that triumphant joy of Easter, and may you always understand that the divine love of God will always carry you to where you're called to be.